In this video, we're going to look at how we can take a portrait and tint that over a black and white appearance. So to get started, my general workaround whenever I'm working with layers and adjustment layers is to jump my background layer. To do that, Command J. You can also drag a copy down to the new layer button. That would also create a layer copy. Reason for that is then I always have my background to go back to if I decide to put on a mask, things like that. And briefly, I just want to talk to you about adjustment layers and kind of good editing procedures. You have these adjustments up here. These are known as legacy adjustments. Once you use those, your pixels are permanently altered. You cannot go back. So if you are wanting to make adjustments on the fly, possibly tweak those, you want to use your panel adjustments. The same adjustments, just different uses. When you mouse over them, you'll get a clue as to what they are, what they do. So for this one, we're actually going to apply the black and white adjustment layer. When I apply, that comes up in the Properties panel. And I can tweak this if I need to in a couple of different ways. I can select my hand tool and I can modify my sliders kind of live just by clicking on them, lightening and darkening up certain areas if I need to. That's great if there are areas of really strong highlight or really strong low light. So I might go in here and try to lighten that up a little bit. And that is how you tweak kind of the black and white tint. You can also go into the sliders and work that way. You can see you can get some interesting looks when you do that. And you can adjust the sliders with that. Photo looks perfectly fine right here. Note that we do have a layer mask, so if I wanted to dial down below that mask, I can just simply paint on this layer mask and start bringing some of the color back. Because remember, black reveals. So you can get all kinds of crazy looks. Not a good look there. We're going to undo that. But you do have that mask you can work with and bring details back. We're going to apply a tint to that. To do that, we're just going to check mark where it says tint. Your default is a sepia tint. If you click on that swatch, you can pull up your color picker, either dial in the specific color you want to try. Maybe you want to try that bluish gray. You can type in a color value, use your CMYK sliders. You can then export this color to swatches to maybe be used for some text. Hit OK. We still have a mask even though we've tinted, so we can still use that technique of going back in and painting things. We paint her hair back in. Doing something a little more subtle is kind of a cool look with this. So what I might do is take my opacity down and just kind of bring in a little hint of a lip color or a hint of an eye or a blush of a cheek to kind of pull in some color. So use that modification wisely.